Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so for those who've been following me for a while, shock, horror, I'm wearing clothes. Yes, I do sometimes wear clothes. I know most of my videos I am topless. It is not because I want to show anything naughty, it's just because I want you to focus on the face. And usually when I'm making a mess with face masks, it's just so much easier not to wear a top so that it doesn't go all over my clothes. That's why. Today's video is all about how I started in the industry, where I began, going right back to the roots. A bit of a story time just to share everything about where I come from and where I'm at now. And I also wanted to give you guys, if you're aspiring to be a hairstylist, a makeup artist, or even an influencer, give you some tips and advice on what you can do to get started. If you want to find out more, then keep on watching. For those of you who don't know, basically I started around about 12 years ago. Woo! And whenever I was at school, I was really academic, but I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I love theatre studies, I love art. Those were probably like the only two that I enjoyed. I really actually enjoyed ICT, which was like playing with computers and technology and stuff. I don't know if those subjects still are called the same because it's been a while since I've been at school, but those were the things that I was really interested in. Then what happened was I stayed at school, at my school sixth form, and I stayed there for it was 2 years. So I did all my GCSEs, I passed everything, which was amazing, yay! And then I went to do my A-levels, and I decided to take on 4 A-levels. Jeez! Decided to do 4 A-levels, and that was over 2 years. If you're not from the UK, maybe it's different in the US, I'm not really quite too sure. Then when you started with your A-levels, basically everyone was already deciding what they wanted to learn at university, and this was such a stressful time for me, guys, that I cannot tell you. I was so stressed that at that age of 18, I was having to make that career choice. Like, what do I want to do for the rest of my life? It's really hard. Like, I found that there was so much pressure, and I didn't really feel like anyone was really there as a mentor to say, look Danny, you're really good at this and you're really good at that, these are the possibilities, these are the career paths that you could go down. So yeah, I was really confused at that time. I was just like, well, what am I going to do? So I was looking at different universities and looking at different courses that I could maybe check out at university, and I just thought to myself, nothing really looks appealing. And I remember I saw like a theatre and like makeup thing, and I was like, I also like graphic design I was looking into, and I was like, oh, that sounds really good. But then I thought to myself, like, I'm not sure if I want to spend like 3 to 5 years of my life like learning about this. I don't know, I didn't really know. What I thought about was, right, what am I really passionate? What am I like, wow, I'm mind blown by that? And basically it was hair. So at that time, I'd basically been experimenting a lot with different hairstyles. I was going to Tony & Guy, getting my hair cut, which was really expensive, especially when you're a student. My thing was my hair, like 110%. It was just like my hair was my way of expressing myself. So then I applied to do an apprenticeship with Tony & Guy, and basically I got rejected because I was 18, and they were like, no, we want 15-year-olds, like anything older than that, we're not really interested. And I was like, oh, I'm 18, I'm so young, and already I'm being rejected. After that, I was so shocked. I really didn't know what I was going to do. I was like, what do you mean? So that they didn't have to pay you minimum wage, they basically enrolled really young people because they wanted to pay you less because you were learning how to do hair. So it's like an apprenticeship, you know, you get paid a little bit of wage, but you get training for free, kind of. This was something that I really wanted to do. And when I was looking at like, can I learn how to do hair somewhere else? There wasn't really any options out there. Like Tony & Guy at the time was like the biggest hairdressing company in the world. And it was really like where I used to get my hair cut, and it was like the ultimate place where I thought I really want to work for this company. I ended up working for a chartered accountancy company in like the city, where I was completely out of my comfort zone. I had to wear a shirt, guys, every day. I was like, no. And this office was like in the basement, and it was just so monotonous that I remember like my heart just wasn't in it, and I was like, I couldn't express myself. I have to like look a certain way, and I felt so contrived. After that, I still kept on telling everyone like, oh, I really want to be a hairdresser, I really want to be a hairdresser. And one of the ladies who worked there, she was like, what do you want to do? Like, what do you actually want to do in your life? And I was like, I want to be a hairdresser. She was like, oh, amazing. Well, my son's best friend's opening his own Tony & Guy salon, and I can set you guys up. So I was like, what? I was mind blown, guys. I was just like, I cannot believe this is happening to me. Like, I threw it out into the universe and it came back to me. So basically, I say basically too much. She hooked us up. I then got the job. It was the opposite side of London and I traveled for 3 hours a day, but did I care? No, because I got my dream and I was working for the brand that I really wanted to work for. Years went by, I worked in several different salons. I worked for that brand for around about, I want to say 6.5 years, which is a long time. And I ended up at one of the flagship salons in London as a style director, head of PR, and also brand ambassador for 2 different retail products that we stopped in the salon. I really felt like I grew like within that company. Like, I was so blessed to, like, it was my dream, guys. I worked so hard to get there, and when I got there I was just like, this is amazing. It was so good. That feeling of accomplishment. I was like, oh my god. The problem with me is that I set myself a goal, and then when I get there I'm like, what's next? I need another goal. I need another goal. I always need goals. Like, I'm all about goals. So I was doing shows for different retailers, so we would basically be backstage at the catwalk. I would be heading the hair team and we'd have a brief, and then I'd liaise with the clients and be like, okay, let's do this for hair and let's do that. And then there'd be like a makeup team, and wow, the makeup team. Bobbi Brown used to work with us quite closely a lot of the time, and I was just blown away by the makeup artist. So I basically started to look at different options, and I was thinking about going to do a course to learn how to do makeup. And I was thinking about going freelance basically and being a session hair and makeup artist, doing hair and makeup for photo shoots for different brands and stuff like that, and fashion shows, all sorts like that. When I set my heart to something, guys, I just really like want to do it. I want to work hard. And you have to understand, at this point I was like managerial level, so I was on a good wage, like life was cushy, you know, I was in a relationship, like everything was kind of good. And then I decided to flip my whole life upside down, which was so scary. I remember, this is not good for me because I'm a Taurus and I'm a star sign. I like stability, so don't like change. And when all of these things changed, I was like, oh no. I was going crazy. I basically decided to take a course. I took a 3-month makeup course at CBMA Academy, which I basically learned like prosthetics, hair, wigs, makeup, fashion makeup, the lot, shebang. I invested so much money into this part of the business that I really like, you know, I saved up and I really wanted to do something. I'm not gonna lie, guys, like at that time things were really hard. My relationship crumbled, unfortunately. We won't go on and on about relationships because that's a whole different video. Was I 100% sure about what I was doing? No, definitely wasn't though. No, not at all. After freelancing for 2 years, I felt like there was still a lot that I wanted to learn. I still didn't feel like I was at the top of my game, and I was doing like okay but jobs here and there. Yeah, I needed something. I needed something to give me a little bit more security and stability, which is when I got contacted by one of the educators from Bobbi Brown who I used to work with, and she basically said, do you want to be a Christmas temp at MAC? I was just like, yeah, totally, like part-time, like a few months, just for the Christmas season. I could basically just be working at MAC Cosmetics, and I was just like, wow, this is amazing. Like I'm so excited, like a completely new adventure. I started, and oh my gosh, guys, when I started at MAC, it was the bomb. It was like every single day I'd wake up and be like, I'm so excited about going to work because the people are so much fun. There was like music, there was so much energy, like the products were good. Like, you didn't really have to sell the product because everyone loved MAC Cosmetics, so like the products would kind of sell themselves, and it was really non-sales based. It was all about us as artists and as individuals, and I just thought this company is just incredible. Anyway, time went by, 3 years went by, and what happened was, yeah, I was only meant to be there for like 3 months, and I basically then applied for a permanent position. I was always retail artist, and I was there for 3 years in total. And I really want to say one thing, that I learned so much by being a counter. I learned that no matter how old you are or what your skin type is or what color you are, I would be able to transform you. I had the most incredible time at the beginning of MAC. Unfortunately, I felt like towards the end, the whole whole structure of Mac kind of changed. Like it went from being really fun and artistry based to more sales based, and I will never ever forget the memories that I have like working there, and I did learn so much. But towards the end I felt like this is definitely too much now. Like it's more limiting than it is feeding my creativity. Towards the end of my stay at Mac, basically I got really like into Instagram, and I basically started, like, we were all just like bouncing off each other in that place. Like in terms of creativity, I felt like the people were so talented, we'd just be bouncing off each other all the time. So we were always doing like makeup looks and like theme days and stuff like that. So we'd take selfies and then post them on our Instagram. I remember like my first ever video was like, it was a Snapchat that I basically just posted, and then it just went crazy. Like it got loads of views for at the time, and I was just like, oh my god, this is crazy. And like everyone was just asking me then like, oh, what do you think of this? What do you think about that? And they were all asking me for my advice, and this was a normal day-to-day thing for me, guys. Like people will come into the store and ask for my expert advice, and I would be able to say, you know, what worked or what didn't work. You know, even though I'm like combination to oily, if you had dry skin, I could be like, okay, well this is really good for dry skin, because obviously you know, because you're playing with the products all the time. It just became like, oh well, I've got all this makeup at home, I've got all this hair and makeup stuff, like maybe I could do like little reviews. And then I just started doing it on my Instagram, and then basically it just got like more and more and grew so much more. And it's just like, it's just so crazy. Like even now, guys, like when I think about it, I'm still so small. Like I'm still just at the beginning. So with this, and like with just the vibes that were happening at Mac, I was just like, you know what, like it's time to spread my wings, to go my own way. And I remember like the cherry on top for me, guys, is when it was like my big birthday, I decided to book a week off to go and see my family, and then I decided to book a week off to go to Vegas with my best friend. When I had requested that holiday, I thought I was doing everything by the book, and then my manager was like, you can't have that. And I was just like, why? Like I've done everything by the book, why can you not give that? And it was because I was away for like too many weekends or something like that. I was working there like 2 days a week. Like I was working there 2 days a week, and then doing all my freelance on top of that. Like I was working non-stop. Sometimes I'd work 7 days, like solid. The hours there were like ridiculous, and it was just too much for me. When I got told that I couldn't have my birthday off, I was just like, no, this is not happening now. This is just like too much for me. And I feel like that was just the cherry on top. So I decided to just leave that. And then basically a week later, I got approached by an agency. Really weird. I got approached by an agency that I really wanted to be with, and I just thought, this is crazy. Like, how is this happening? And I know that people might say that it's luck, but you have to really like build to get to that point. You know, you need to have a good portfolio already. You need to have like a client list already before you get picked up by an agency. That all happened, and I guess here I am now in front of a camera telling you what has been happening. Yeah. I also really wanted to just give you a few tips and advice on just things that I've learned throughout the years. Yeah, some of the things that I will definitely stress, because I get so many people emailing me sometimes or DMing me and saying, look, I really want to become a makeup artist, or I want to get into Instagram and stuff like that. So these are like my top tips and advice. One of the things definitely is consistency. Please don't think that it's just luck and things just happen overnight. You need to be consistent, guys. Being consistent is so important. Like there's no point uploading a YouTube video and then you don't post again for like another 6 months. No, guys. Same thing with Instagram, like 1 a day, 2 a day, or just be realistic. Do you know what I mean? If you can't do 1 a day, then do 1 every other day. But really you want to try to be posting up once every day. Another really good tip of mine, always follow what you're passionate about. Like if there's anything, like if you're good at something, follow that. Do you know what I mean? If you're good at something, then no matter how many times you get knocked down or pulled back, you'll get back up, you dust that dandruff off and then go for it. Sometimes we have highs and sometimes we have lows, and it's so important to just embrace both. Just embrace both. It's like, it's cool. Like if you have a low, be like, yeah, I'm having a low, so what? Tomorrow I'm gonna have a high. Wait, just ride that wave. Ride it. Everyone always says that I'm a very flow driven person. I guess that's really true. Like sometimes I'm just not in the mood to be in front of the camera, not in the mood to do makeup and stuff like that. But you know, it's important to sometimes, you know, motivate yourself. Another key piece of advice I would give you guys, you you should always make goals. So I'm thinking about making a video all about how I do my goals and how to set yourself goals on like different things in life. If you do want to see a video like that, just let me know if you guys want to see a video about that, and I'll do a whole separate YouTube video on that. It's really short and simple. You're going to achieve so much more if you set yourself a goal and have something to work towards, and then once you reach that goal, you make another goal. And if you keep on going, you have a path outlined for you, and you know at least like where your path is and where you're at and where you're going. Write your goals down, because sometimes you forget or you get carried away with everyday to-day life. So write down your goals, tick them off as you go along. Like, it's really satisfying. You can just be like, tick. My last piece of advice is always make the most out of your resources, okay? Never ever think about limitations. Like I said, I started with my iPhone, filming on Snapchat at work on my break sometimes. Don't think about your limitations, think about what you can do. Think about your resources, like what can you do with that? You know, if you've got loads of makeup already, like use that, review that, do you know what I mean? Like stop thinking about limitations, like you're only gonna limit yourself. So yeah. Anyway guys, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope that this maybe has taught you a little bit about me and where I came from in the beginning. Please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Support the people you love watching by engaging. It's so important for us. I will see you guys next time. Anything you want to see, let me know, and peace out.